Big Liverpool update. Arne Slot confirms a huge boost with Alexander Isak's return date, while fresh details emerge on Mohamed Salah's impact and possible exit. Plus, big claims about Alisson Becker, a free kick masterclass from Szoboszlai, and shock names set to miss the 2026 World Cup. Let's get into it. Arne Slot confirms Alexander Isak return date as Liverpool receive huge injury boost. Alexander Isak has been sidelined for more than 3 months after breaking his leg against Tottenham in December, but Liverpool's £125 million signing is close to a return. Liverpool manager Arne Slot has confirmed that Alexander Isak will return to team training on Thursday. Isak, 26, has been ruled out since December, having suffered a broken leg during Liverpool's 2-1 win away at Tottenham. The Sweden international missed his country's recent World Cup playoff campaign in which they qualified for this summer's tournament, while his absence has exacerbated Liverpool's injury woes. But Isak, who's recently been training individually, is close to a return and could feature in Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final away to Manchester City. I think Alex is in a really good place because Sweden qualified for the World Cup yesterday evening, and apart from that, he's going to train with the group again for the first time tomorrow. Slot told club media on Wednesday, if you've worked so hard for 3-4 months or something like that, and then to return to team training, that's for everyone, very nice. So Alex is, in that sense, in a good place. Of course, it's only his first session after 3 or 4 months with the team, but it's good to have him back because we all know who we signed, and we've signed an incredible striker. So to have him again in a team that's usually generating quite a lot of chances, and maybe not immediately from the first moment that he can start, but to have him back for the last 2 months is, I think, very helpful for us. Meanwhile, Slot confirmed that Jeremy Frimpong will have a scan after being subbed off just 12 minutes into his outing for the Netherlands on Tuesday. The Reds boss explained, "Jeremy, the national team doctor of the Netherlands, tells us that it was precautionary that they took him out, but he will have a scan later today to see Alisson will be out for a bit longer, and Federico Chiesa indeed came back from the national team where he wasn't able to play, but he trained with us today, so he will train with us tomorrow again and will be available for the game on the weekend. As for Mo Salah, the Egyptian is very close to returning." Slot added, another example of what makes him special, because the moment he got injured there was a bit of a situation where they thought, I don't think he's available for City, but Mo looked at me and said, I think I will be available for City. He just does so much for his body for such a long time that he recovers so fast. So he will train with the team again tomorrow, and if everything works well, then he's available to be with us. Mo Salah's Liverpool pre-season act that made huge first impression on Arne Slot. Mohamed Salah has spent nearly 2 years working under Arne Slot, and the Liverpool boss remembers how impressed he was when the Egyptian returned for pre-season. Arne Slot admits Mohamed Salah made an immediate impression on him after he smashed Liverpool's first pre-season fitness test of the summer. The Dutchman took over from Jurgen Klopp in the summer of 2024 and had seen the Egyptian's quality from afar, but never up close. For years, Salah's dedication when it comes to fitness and recovery has been well publicised, and Slot saw that up close and personal for the first time when he took charge of pre-season, with Salah returning from the summer and coming out on top in one of their pre-season tests. For several seasons, the ex-Roma forward had been the Reds' leading light, consistently topping the scoring charts, but that didn't stop him putting in the graft, and Slot was hugely impressed by the determination that Salah showed as he held himself to account. He told the Liverpool website, I started working with him, and already the first day I was impressed by his professionalism, because as with any season, it starts with a test that shows how much they did in the off-season, and he beat all of them. He was the fittest player that came back, and I think that's the ideal situation that you want as a manager, that your star player comes back as fit as he did. He had nothing to prove, but for himself, he had a lot to prove, because Mo always thinks he has to prove something every 3 days. That hunger never stops, and that is something that I find most special about him. Salah has endured a poor campaign by his high standards and will leave in the summer. Prior to this season, the Egyptian has surpassed the 20-goal mark in every year he'd been at Anfield, hitting 34 last term en route to more individual accolades. The 33-year-old's exploits over almost a decade have seen him marked out as one of the world's best players, and his never-ending desire to play every minute has not gone unnoticed by Slot. He said so many good players around the world, he's definitely one of them in the last 10 years, that everybody talks about being one of the best there is and was in the last 10 years. to show that hunger every 3 days, that professionalism, that commitment to the club, to the team, to wanting to score again, always wanting to play. When you take him out 3 minutes before the end, he's like, maybe I could have scored one extra. That is what stands out for me. Armin Pesce makes Alisson claim after watching Liverpool icon in training. Liverpool goalkeeper Armin Pesce is a big fan of Reds #1 Alisson, describing him as perfect and speaking about the challenge of trying to reach the Brazilians' level. Armin Pesce has described Alisson as the perfect goalkeeper as he praised the pool of keepers that he works alongside at the AXA training centre. Pesce joined Liverpool from Puskas Academia last summer and has consistently played for Liverpool's under-21 side this season. He has also trained with the Liverpool first-team goalkeepers, which include Alisson and Georgi Mamardashvili, and is a major fan of the Liverpool and Brazil #1. Every detail of him is so perfect and is the same every time, Pesce told Club Media of Alisson. He makes things look so easy, and this is the hard part, to learn this and to make this happen on the pitch. He's a really nice guy, and it's good to see him in training. Same with Georgie and Freddie, because all of them are a little bit different. They're all top goalkeepers. They're all top goalkeepers. From everyone you can learn from something. Alisson missed Liverpool's game against Brighton prior to the international break and subsequently missed Brazil's friendlies against France and Croatia. Arne Slot confirmed the goalkeeper will not return for this weekend's FA Cup game against Manchester City, as he gave an injury update on several players ahead of the trip to the Etihad Stadium. Starting off with an update on Mohamed Salah, who also missed the game at Brighton. Slot said, "Close, very close." Another example of what makes him special, because the moment he got injured, there was a bit of a situation where they thought, I don't think he's available for City. But Mo looked at me and said, I think I will be available for City. He just does so much for his body for such a long time that he recovers so fast. So he will train with the team again tomorrow. And if everything works well, then he's available to be with us at City. Slot continued. Jeremy, the national team doctor of the Netherlands, tells us that it was precautionary that they took him out, but he will have a scan later today to see. Alisson will be out for a bit longer, and Federico indeed came back from the national team where he wasn't able to play, but he trained with us today, so he will train with us tomorrow again and will be available for the game on the weekend. Dominic Szoboszlai, free kick ability explained as Liverpool star reveals all. Szoboszlai has long had a reputation for being a brilliant striker of the ball, and one of the Liverpool goalkeepers has revealed what it's like to face him in training. Young Liverpool goalkeepers Armin Pesce has spoken about how fellow Hungarian Dominic Szoboszlai has a unique way of striking the ball. Reds midfielder Szoboszlai has long been regarded for how dangerous he can be when shooting from distance and has netted a number of stunning goals this season, including special free kicks against Arsenal and Manchester City. Pesce, who currently plays for the Reds under-21s, regularly comes up against Szoboszlai in training and revealed how it is extra difficult to stop his shots because they combine power and accuracy. You can expect from any distance he will go for power, but he will also go for accuracy, Pesce said as he spoke about training with Liverpool's first team. There are some really good finishers on the first team side. Everybody strikes the ball a little bit differently. It makes it difficult for the goalkeepers because you cannot expect how they will shoot, because some players have more techniques and they also want to trick you. It was difficult at first, but I think month by month or week by week I could get to know them and it was easier, but this is also pushing me to get to their level. But Dom's shots, I think everybody knows now. Hungarians knew it before, but now I think everybody in England who likes football, and maybe everyone in world football, knows he has a unique strike. Pesce also spoke about how Szoboszlai and other compatriot Milos Kerkez have helped him to settle in on Merseyside following his arrival from Puskas Academia in 2025. They helped me a lot, especially Dom, because he's here for a longer time. He helped me a lot, Pesce said. When I want to ask him something or get help, he always helps me. I think we get along good. It was good that sometimes I could speak to someone Hungarian, or if I didn't understand someone or ask about something or how things work here, it was easier to explain in Hungarian, and he was here. Of course, when it comes to football and we speak about football, in this part he can also help me a lot. When I see the guys or him in training, it's a big inspiration in the big level they show every day. 6 top players who will miss World Cup 2026, including 675 goal machine and £62 million star. The field for World Cup 2026 is now complete, though there will be some headline-making players absent in North America. We now know the 48 teams that will compete at this summer's World Cup, but some notable players will be missing in the United States, Canada and Mexico. The lineup for World Cup 2026 is confirmed following the conclusion of the high-stakes European and Intercontinental playoffs. Both Iraq and DR Congo were the last two countries to punch their ticket, with Sweden, Turkey, Czech Republic and Bosnia and Herzegovina completing the lineup. But these nations' joy is paralleled by the despair of others, with some massive names seeing their dreams of participation squashed. The biggest of the absentees is undeniably Italy, who will now miss their third consecutive tournament. Mirror Football takes a look at the most noteworthy players who won't star at the World Cup thanks to their country not qualifying, including a legendary striker and one of the Premier League's finest midfielders, Robert Lewandowski. Sweden's participation this summer comes at the expense of Poland, who were down in a playoff final on Tuesday 3-2. This means their iconic frontman, Robert Lewandowski, will miss out. Having made a name for himself on the European stage with Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, Lewandowski is undeniably one of the finest forwards of his generation. He has bagged almost 700 goals to date and is still strutting his stuff for Barcelona at the age of 37. Sadly, Poland's all-time record scorer cannot add to his 89 international goals in the summer. He even hinted on social media that this could be his final match for his country, with a captionless Instagram post accompanied by the song Time to Say Goodbye by Andrea Bocelli. Victor Osimhen Nigeria were eliminated from World Cup contention by DR Congo in November after a heartbreaking penalty shootout loss. This means their star striker, Victor Osimhen, is another top marksman who will be absent in North America. Osimhen has become a serial winner since leaving Lille for Napoli in 2020. His 26 Serie A goals helped his side win the Scudetto in 2023. Even after leaving Italy behind for Galatasaray, he contributed to a domestic double last season before being sold to the Turkish club for £62 million in the summer. Gianluigi Donnarumma, Italy's agonising defeat at the hands of Bosnia on Tuesday marked a dark day for the national team. The four-time champions have not qualified for a World Cup since 2014. This seems inconceivable when their squad is considered, as Newcastle star Sandro Tonali and Inter ace Nicolo Barella are among the finest midfielders in Europe. Perhaps their brightest star is goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. However, Manchester City's towering shot stopper won the Champions League last season with Paris Saint-Germain before his Premier League move and remains one of the world's best in his position. Dominik Szoboszlai, Hungary's path to World Cup qualification failure, was perhaps one of the more dramatic. They entered their final UEFA qualifying Group F match against the Republic of Ireland in November, needing only a draw, and were 2-1 up until the 80th minute. Troy Parrott's already iconic first goal levelled the match before the striker grabbed a 96th minute winner to complete his hat-trick and send his nation to the playoffs. Dominik Szoboszlai was on the receiving end of this blow. Liverpool's Szoboszlai has been a player rejuvenated this season with his long-range strikes and brilliant passing range, making him one of the English top flight's most in-form midfielders. Rasmus Højlund. Denmark's hopes came to an end via spot kicks on Tuesday, with Czechia advancing to the World Cup. On loan, Manchester United ace Rasmus Højlund missed from 12 yards. Højlund, who has been thriving on loan at Napoli this season, was the first from his nation to step up, and he smashed his effort off the bar. His teammates Anders Dreyer and Matthias Jensen also failed to convert. The 23-year-old has yet to feature at a World Cup, as when Denmark qualified for the 2022 edition in Qatar, the manager opted for more senior strikers rather than Højlund. Ivica Kvaratskhelia. Georgia impressed at Euro 2024, and many would have expected them to at least compete in the upcoming World Cup, but they were placed in a qualifying group alongside Spain and Turkey and finished third. Ivica Kvaratskhelia has developed into one of the finest wingers in Europe, and he was a crucial piece of PSG's Champions League winning puzzle last year. But the 25-year-old won't get to show off his silky skills and fear-inducing wing play in North America, with his country falling short last year. Exclusive, Mohamed Salah exit timing was brilliant. Liverpool have already moved to replace him. The Eco chats exclusively to Liverpool legend Robbie Fowler about Mohamed Salah's end-of-season exit and his former club's campaign as a whole. Robbie Fowler believes Liverpool are well placed to handle the end-of-season exit of Mohamed Salah as the iconic No.11 enters the final 2 months of a 9-year Anfield career. But the legendary Fowler, who was surpassed by Salah as the Reds' leading scorer of the Premier League era 3 years ago, admits the club will miss an extraordinary player who will go down as one of the all-time greats when he departs at the end of May. The Egyptian's glittering Liverpool career includes 7 major honours, including 2 Premier League titles and the 2019 Champions League, while his 255 goals on Merseyside have only been bettered by Ian Rush and Roger Hunt across 134 years of club history. Fowler, who sits 7th on that particular list with 183, believes last summer's recruitment work, which saw the champions spend £320 million on Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike, proves the Reds were preparing for life after Salah at Anfield. And the former Liverpool striker argues the club's history of absorbing the exits of key players bodes well for when the 33-year-old calls time at the end of the campaign. I mean, again, you can't add any superlatives that haven't already been said about Mo. Fowler told the EOCO, he is an incredible player for this football club. His numbers are extraordinary. For anyone to get anywhere near those numbers again, you're talking about a very good player. And this is one of the things that I have sort of felt sorry for him for this year because, okay, we've seen he hasn't quite been the same player as some previous seasons in the past, but numbers-wise, if you've got his numbers and put him in another team, they would still be good. But because his numbers have been so extraordinary in the years gone by, especially last year, people want to see that all the time. That, unfortunately, is what the world is like. But he has been unbelievable for Liverpool, of course, and we sort of envisioned that he wouldn't be at Liverpool forever, and it'll be a sad day when he actually goes. This is the beauty of this football club. We have always found players to come in after the chosen one, if you like, has walked away and gone somewhere else. The club has done it for years, and at the time you're probably thinking, this will never be the same. But we have always gone on to do well. Fowler, speaking to the ECO at Anfield in conjunction with club partners Hire, added, now I am not saying we're going to do that easily because you've still got to go out there and work and do the job. Fowler, speaking to the ECO at Anfield in conjunction with club partners Hire, added, now I am not saying we're going to do that easily because you've still got to go out there and work and do the job, but I think the work was probably done last summer, bringing in Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz, because these are probably signed with the hope of seeing something after Mo Salah has left. I would be amazed if there's not some sort of formation change or a little change in approach, because the players that were signed who would thrive in a different formation and a different setting is quite right, because that is what football clubs need to do to grow. You can't suddenly make a plan when a star player wants to leave. It has to be in progress beforehand, and it is one they have to get right. The timing of it was brilliant, to be honest. I sort of envisioned it would too, with the way the season has gone. He has been an incredible player for Liverpool, and it is obviously sad to see him go. The players certainly, and everyone really will be galvanised by it. It gives everyone a lift. Liverpool return to action on Saturday lunchtime when they are hosted by Manchester City in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, before another last 8 fixture next week sees them entertained by Paris Saint-Germain in the first leg of their Champions League tie. It's been a tough term for Arne Slot and his players, who find themselves down in 5th after 10 league defeats as defending champions. However, Fowler says the return of action later this month still offers plenty of opportunities for the remainder of the campaign. Look, I think we'd all love to be sat here saying Liverpool can still win the Premier League, but it is out of our hands now. There's no chance now, in all fairness, Fowler says. I think at the start of the season, with all the players signed, I think a lot of people thinking it was a chance to go back-to-back with titles, but it wasn't to be. Certain things have happened in games with results. Players have been injured. We don't need to go too much into it, but it hasn't been the perfect season. And again, if you talk about the pressures, trying to emulate what they did last season has been difficult, but we still go towards the latter stages of the season with a realistic chance of winning silverware. That, for me, is the bare minimum at this football club. We should be doing that every season. So as much as we can't win the league, there's a realistic chance of going further in these competitions. And we've seen enough of Liverpool in the past, not just this season, but in others gone by. You never write us off. And when everyone seems to be against us, that is when maybe you see better results. Thanks for watching.